Let's get to the action of UFC 318. This one is juicy. Overall, great card. The card was fantastic. We knew it was going to be a tasty one. We knew they were edging us with these terrible fight nights. This one was good. The criticism of this card doesn't come off the main event, so we're just going to jump right into the main event. So you'll see right now, especially along the MMA fan base, I would say the majority of fans are upset with the main event with Hamzat and DDP. So you'll also see a lot of people who do what I do go, if you didn't like that, you don't know fighting, or, DJ, who I absolutely love, goes, just turn it off. And they're right to that opinion. And I see both sides. I'm not trying to create a rift here or anything like that. What I'm saying is it's okay if you don't enjoy Hamzat taking a guy down and controlling him for 25 minutes. You have that right, and I get it. Hamzat's style, when it comes to his performance against DDP, I'll try to compare it to this. I watch a lot of baseball, right? I don't miss a Dodgers game. My kids are obsessed with baseball, so now I got to be into baseball. What Hamzat did Saturday night is no different than when back in the day when Ohtani was only pitching 4 innings. Yoshi for the Dodgers, right? Or Paul Skeens. What Hamzat did is basically like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. It's so impressive. You're like, oh my God, they are dominating. But it's actually pretty boring to watch. Unless you really enjoy the game, unless you really enjoy fighting, I can see how a lot of people are like, dude, we got told, and rightfully so, on paper, we got told this is the greatest middleweight title fight in how many years? I said it's going to be like Izzy, Kelvin Gastelum, way off. Izzy, Kelvin Gastelum, or Shogun, Rua versus Dan Hendo, that type of vibe. And you didn't get that. But what you should do, if you can step back from the entertainment side of things, step back, you have to realize what Hamzat did to DDP was an absolute demolished him. It wasn't a competitive fight. So again, I can see how you're like, dude, this is boring. This is like a Dagestan or a Chechenian John Fitch style. I get that. But you have to realize he pitched a no-hitter. He didn't get touched in a world title fight against a guy who is undefeated in the UFC, against a guy who has been destroying the competition at every level. He didn't get touched. So I look at it and I enjoyed it. I went, Jesus Christ, he's dominating. Also, I enjoyed it because a part of me is always like, DDP is going to pull something out. There's something eventually something's going to happen here. And it kind of did at the end of the 5th, but I'm with Dana on, I had it 10-8 all 4 rounds, and the 5th, it was a 10-9. When you control a guy that dominant for that long, to me, it couldn't be more clear that those are 10-8 rounds. When you can't get out of a crucifix, when you can't even attempt to get up, that would be total domination. That's a 10-8 round by all metrics. So to do that, and nobody's been able to do this to DDP. Nobody. Even remotely close. No one's been able to dominate him like this. Again, he's undefeated in the UFC. His strength of schedule, his competition is out of this world, and he didn't have a prayer in winning this fight. It wasn't even competitive. He got dog walked. So when you look at Hamzat, the criticism would be, well, he didn't go for blood. He didn't go for the finish. And I would argue it takes 2 to tango. He never had the opportunity to go for broke. He never had the opportunity to look for a finish. He went for that terrible Americano, whatever. But overall, it takes 2. So when you look at Hamzat, when he comes out like a banshee, and he came out like, I think he took him down in 8 seconds. So he came out like a banshee, which we all thought. I think this is the perfect recipe because you got to give DDP his credit. And we're going to see this as Khamzat's career goes on. DDP is the big white rhino from South Africa. He's so big. He's so strong. The knock on him would be is technically he's not special in any category. His striking, you wouldn't watch and go, oh my God, this guy, world class. His grappling and wrestling, you would go, oh my God, world class. He's just a big fucking brute who has more will and has more heart than anybody on the roster. But unfortunately, when you mix that with a guy who also has the same will and the same heart, but he has an exceptional talent in grappling, that's going to overshadow whatever DDP is doing. And that's what happened. So the narrative of like, oh, he's a lay and pray, he's a GSP later in his career, he's this, he's boring, he's lay and pray. I can understand how you come to that conclusion, you know, because it's confirmation bias after this last fight. But I would say part of that is because he's fighting DDP, and DDP didn't try to really get up, create scrambles, and create those opportunities for Hamzat to take advantage and close the fight out. So I think it's the perfect storm because you have this big brute who's versed in grappling. DDP is, you know, he's not a world champion, you know, ADCC guy, you know, but he's fucking pretty damn good on the ground. But when it comes to wrestling, he just wasn't doing the right techniques to get up, to create those scrambles that force Hamzat to use energy and to try and tire him out. Hamzat could have done this for 10 rounds. You know, I was in Hamzat's camp. I saw with my own eyes what he did to legit wrestlers, legit grapplers. It's the exact same thing, but he was finishing them because they provided windows of opportunity. They would create these scrambles and he'd get a hold of their neck, he'd get something. DDP really didn't do that. He kind of just turtled up or would try to stand even though he had his back and was riding him out. He just wasn't giving Hamzat too many opportunities. So I think Hamzat's like, okay, all right, I'll do this for 25 minutes. This is my entire camp. I did this. So that recipe that DDP had, for whatever reason, doesn't give you any sort of opportunity to beat a guy like Khamzat. And that's why he got absolutely dominated. And here's what sucks if you're a DDP fan or you're DDP. There's not enough hours in the day to make up that gap. He will never beat Hamzat. It just will never happen. So unless Hamzat moves up to 205, which I could see him doing, whether he moves up and he vacates the belt or something, or someone catches Hamzat and he loses, if Hamzat's champion, DDP will never see gold again. It's literally impossible to make up that gap in grappling. It's impossible.